Well, as they say, it all started on a bike. Gary was living in a garage adjacent to his parents' house back around 1990. And Gary is really a modern-day Renaissance man and had very little belongings, but what he did have packed into this garage were really indicative of what he loved to do. Clif Family Winery is really an expression of our owners, Gary Erickson and Kit Crawford. Kit and Gary live life really per their passions, and I think they very eclectically and very originally put those passions into their two businesses, both Clif Bar and certainly their winery. Certainly responsible to the planet, but we make products that are people-friendly, that are not pretentious, and we've really woven that concept into our winery and notably our tasting room experience. We're a very open door, very welcome type of environment for people. I think the thing about Clif Bar is it's a very grassroots type of company. They take the product to the people. There's not a ton of glossy, lovely, magazine advertising, because they realize that it's the relationships that count, and building those relationships and being accountable for what you're doing. What we tell people that come in that may not be cyclists is, look, we are a place of passion. So if there's something in life that's driving you and inspiring you to do more than exist, we're the right place for you. The neat thing is we've developed a customized bicycle route map that we can immediately pull out. It's a great piece, a good segue for conversation, and we can point out anywhere from 6 to 8 rides that us locals love to do.
Your job as a winemaker, in my opinion, is to kind of shepherd wines where they need to go and not necessarily force them into a mold. And when you work with different vineyards, you figure that out. I mean, for me, it takes me 3 to 5 years to figure out the vineyard, and in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out what barrels work with it and try to make it as easy as possible without, having to strip out excess tannins and so for me, the first step is I'm real gentle about production. There's a certain energy about the company that lends itself to the outdoors and enjoying life and taking things as they come. And so that's kind of the company culture, and I think it translates into the wines. I mean, when you put the wines together, that's always in the back of your mind, I mean, after doing something all day long, do I want to sit down with a glass of this? And so that's kind of the approach I take.
The wine that we're featuring here at Clif Family Winery for Cellar Angels is the 2008 Kit's Killer Cab. Perhaps important to note that it did get a 92 in Wine Enthusiast magazine, which for us is terrific, and I think it does let people know that a lot of the distinguished palates out there are seeing some true value and quality in the wines that Bruce is producing. 2008 Kit's Killer Cab, for a cab, I would characterize it as being a lighter to medium-bodied cab. But I think it's extremely balanced, and I think it shows the natural attributes of that varietal extremely well, which I think in a lot of cabs it's very tough to get that balance because it is a very robust varietal and it can be fairly muscular. But Bruce has done a great job of taming it, which is great. Walking the walk is very important. I think people these days are becoming a lot more, as consumers, a lot more selective. It's not just a matter of buying something. Who are they buying it from? How was it packaged? Where was it sourced? And so I think being able to tell somebody, hey, we know those answers and we're proud of those answers, goes a long way.